I just drank the worst thing that anyone's ever drank. That includes all the vampires who have ever lived. This was worse than... I mean, what is blood like the first time you have blood? Are you on board? You're like, this is like water to me now. Or is it like, it's gonna have to be an acquired taste. So I'm working on my new stand-up. It puts a twist on jokes in that you just get the setup. And it's not everybody gets it. It's kind of cerebral, but there's no punchlines, and you just say something and then you just move on to the next thing, and everyone's thinking, why did he say that? To which I would say, it doesn't really concern you. If I'm talking, I'm just talking. It's just for me. But I'm sort of like a fountain, so you can come play or not. But I'm still gonna be shooting. I'm gonna talk about something. I'm gonna talk about current events. So what's been going on? I know what happened in the past. I don't know what's going on right now. I have no clue. Nobody knows. I'm seeing stuff like 500 milliseconds delayed, thanks to my slow-ass nervous system. Let's get this thing upgraded, you know? That way I get the real-time updates about what Donald Trump is saying. It's not enough for me to know what happened 500 milliseconds ago. But I don't know what's going on right now, and I don't know what's going to happen. Isn't that literally the most terrifying thing? Everybody should be screaming, right? Everybody should always be screaming and running around. Being like, we have no idea why we exist. This should be very disconcerting. And everyone's just like, hey, you want to come to my barbecue? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have to sit down and figure this out before we can move on to barbecues. Unless you're inviting all of this to this barbecue to figure out the answers to these questions, then I don't see the point. So back to liquids. What's the worst liquid you've ever drank? I don't know if I have a worst, but I can think of the worst solid that I ever ate. I was probably, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years old. And me and my sister were home alone because it was the middle of the summer and we had to put up with each other all day, every day. And in an attempt to sustain me and keep me alive that nearly came up short, all she had to do was make me something to eat for lunch because I'm helpless. I'm an idiot. Unfortunately, she chose to make a baked potato, and I don't know what happened in the process of putting the potato in the oven or if the potato was just a bad potato. But I was like, even at that age, I was like, this is definitely the worst thing I've ever tasted, and I'm absolutely sure I'm never going to taste anything worse than this again. And so far, that's a prediction that's actually held up. The only thing I can think of is, like, if I end up eating human shit at some point, then I guess that probably would be worse. But that's the only thing I can think of. And it's no insult to her, even though she's the one who did it, so I guess it kind of is, but... You know, I was just over there today, and she made a great pulled pork sandwich, so she's come a long way. But I don't know, I think that potato, like, just experienced something out in the fields. You know, hot potato is one thing, but when a potato goes cold, it's really sad. Nobody ever thinks about that. But I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm trying to say something that hasn't been said, but I think most things have been said. Okay, now I'm going to fully dedicate myself to having a thought that has never been thunk. It's just going to take me a minute to try to come up with it. I think that Woody Allen should have made a series out of Ants, the movie, and I think it should have been live action, and I think he should have been all of the ants. Did I do it? Can everybody check to see if anyone's ever thought this? Because I think I did it. You shouldn't judge people by their thoughts, whether they're good at thinking or not. You should judge them based on what their hair looks like. That's how you know. If their hair is shitty, they're not a good person. If their hair looks good, they're cool. Everyone knows that better looking people are more trustworthy. And so you should give them jobs. You should give them loans they'll go in debt over forever. Have you never noticed everybody you know who's hot, they're deep in debt? You ever noticed that? It's kind of interesting. It's definitely a real correlation. I'm not just rambling to fill time until Slurp on Lipstick comes here. I told him not to show up today. I'm trying to do this new thing he thought of called reverse psychology. So I'm trying to go along with it. So I'm saying, like, I told him not to come today, but I actually wanted him. The reverse psychology would be I do want him to show up. And then reverse would be I actually really don't want him to come. Because that's how I feel. I really don't want him to come here. I want to just do one episode without time check. But the problem is I can't do it because Slurp on Lipstick has a shitload of blackmail on me. He somehow screen recorded all the video games I've been playing. He's finding clips that make me look really bad and he's posting them online. He's being like, look at this dumb asshole. And these rack up millions of views. Now you might argue, well, the blackmail's already out there, so why does he still get to do time check? And I'm saying that's barely scratching the surface of what he has on me, so. Well, that's all coming up in a minute, I don't know. Like I said, I don't keep track of time because that's Slurp on Lipstick's, it's his life's work, so I don't want to infringe on that. So I don't know, like, I don't have any kind of structure to what I'm doing. I'm flying blind when I do these, and I'm really scared. I'm kind of proving what I said about not really knowing what to do with this or with really anything at all. I'm back to something that happened to me like a year ago. And now I'm like back in the mental space of that. Like, hey, I'm moving back in, but it feels like it just happened again. So I'm like, I already did this. Most of these coincide with me like being forced to like confront things about myself that are uncomfortable and weird. Not like in a serious identity changing way, but just in a way that would kind of change how I'm navigating life generally. This is like when people on MySpace used to post like thinking, and nobody had fucking anything else going on, so there were like 30 people in the comments all saying, what are you thinking about? And they would reply to each and every one individually like, oh, nothing. This was known as vague posting. I think I'm not really vague posting because I actually just don't have any idea what the hell I'm talking about at all. I mean, it's everything I'm talking about is just based on vibes and feelings. So what am I supposed to do with that? I have to like logically deduce fate, essentially. I have to try to like make sense out of chaos. Like, really, you come into the world and you look around, you're like, what the fuck is going on? There's like animals, there's like all this shit happening. Like, what? There's an entire universe? I didn't know. I just found out about this. Then you're like, here, and then somebody or something was like, here, have the brain of a monkey and figure it out. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not gonna figure it. Who made this? And then you have to get smaller. You have to focus that into your own life. You have to be like, my life just seems completely random. I don't think it's meaningless, but I think it's like, it's just at the whims of so many influences within and without. There's no way you can like disentangle all of it. The point is to pick it apart so much that you see through it, and behind it you see nothing. And so there's always something you're holding on to before you get to nothing, because you don't actually want to get to nothing. You want to be something. You want to be somebody. But then in picking that apart, you find out things about yourself that you didn't want to know. You wouldn't even want to know about it. You wouldn't even want to know that about somebody else. You'd be like, keep it to yourself. Thank you. Like I'm saying to myself, I'm like, TMI. But I'm the one giving myself the information. So who's at fault? This is so dark. This episode's so fucked up. This is such a fucked up episode. Everyone's going to be talking about this episode. And if you tell anybody what I said about my own personal life, then I will consider our trust non-existent. And you might argue, well, you put it in a podcast and you put it online. And I mean, that is a good argument. That's a really good argument. So, as I said, I'm just putting fluids out. If you want, look, I'm trying to think of a normal way to say it, but I can't think of one. I'm squirting. Is that what you want me to say? Oh my god. I have to, I gotta bring out Slurp on lipstick. Or he's gonna like start hitting me with the cat o' nine tails like he did last time. I brought him up late. The thing is, I think he just takes it all a little too seriously. Like the whole role of the character of Slurp Font Lipstick, he's very committed. Slurp Font Lipstick is somebody who acts like a method actor who's playing themselves in a biopic. So it's like they're being somebody, but they're being annoying about it, is kind of, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Everybody knows somebody like that. Arguably, I'm one of them. This episode brought to you by Tide Laundry Detergent. You put it in your laundry, and it cleans it. Don't ask any more questions. It definitely cleans it. We're aware of various allegations that Tide doesn't do anything at all, that it actually doesn't wash clothes. It definitely does. It definitely does. And it says here in all caps, it definitely does. Tide Laundry Detergent. Interesting. I know that I shouldn't comment on the ads that I do so as to not cast our, precious clients in a bad light, but, methinks doth protest a little too much about whether or not Tide works. Which pretty much completely convinces me it doesn't work. I gotta speak the truth to power as well. And I consider Tide very powerful. Did you hear about these Tide whistleblowers they just took out? Look into it. I'm just kidding, they didn't kill any Tide whistleblowers. If they did, I would definitely be talking about that, because I'm covering the laundry detergent beat. I've been on that for a while. I met Arm and I met Hammer. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta get it out of the way. There's nothing weird about him this time. Slurp on Lipstick is just normal. Even though I asked him not to show up. He sometimes gets confused about the reverse psychology thing. Honestly, I don't blame him. It's a very confusing thing to do. But other than that, he's just regular today. Well, I would try to, say some nice stuff about him now, since I'm about to bring him out, but... yeah, I'm coming up empty on that, so please welcome Slurp on Lipstick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out. I love receiving a warm welcome, unlike the host of this show, who's a fucking dickhead. Here's the thing, I always come out here, and I have to try to defend myself from what he says about me. And it takes away from what Time Check's all about. So I'm not going to indulge him. I'm not going to sink to his level. That's why I'm aging slower. He's carrying around all this baggage and it's weighing him down. Look at me. I mean, ignore the fact that I am immortal. I mean, everybody knows it now, so I might as well say it. I'm immortal, but we've been over it, so I'm not going to talk about it again. I'm an immortal guy. Living forever, it doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm just doing it. I'm just being immortal because I like time. But mortal people, they're obsessed with oh, we gotta live forever. And even when they can't live forever, they make a compromise. They say, okay, well, I'm not gonna live forever, but I'm gonna leave some kind of mark that I was there. And it's okay. So the average person leaves a mark of, 200 years, maybe? Okay, great. So then there's a million more years of nobody knowing who the fuck you are. You have to be Plato or Jesus to break this. So if you're already dead, what's the difference between 100 years and 5,000 years? It's all the same to you. It's nothing. So yep, this is just a normal time check segment. Nothing different about it than any of the other ones. And it's so similar to the other ones, and I'm going to prove that it's just like the other ones because I'm going to check the time. And looking at the clock here, I can confirm with 99% certainty that it is now 11:34 p.m. I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not taking any calls because the timelines are down, so any call you place will not go through. Unfortunately, there's a storm in Ecuador I was told about. Doesn't seem like it makes any sense. Okay, so the line is now ringing, so we are getting calls. So I guess I was lied to. Hello, you're on with Time.
Yep.
Hey, what's up?
I just calling Time.
Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot to establish why you're calling me. I assume you wanted to know what time it was. That was why you called the timeline.
Yeah, I dropped my glasses, so I thought I couldn't look at the screen to see the time, so I tried to call the timeline.
Yeah, you're on the timeline. Well, you want to know what time it is? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, what
Okay, well, I don't know. I thought maybe you wanted to talk first. Maybe you want to talk about your life a little bit. You sound stressed out. What's going on?
I can't find my fucking glasses.
How bad is your vision?
I thought 3 dogs standing on top of each other were my ex-girlfriend, but they were 3 dogs standing on top of each other.
Where did you come across 3 dogs standing on top of each other? How does that even work?
I don't know, but they were much nicer than my ex.
Well, the time is 11:39. Do you want me to give you the PM and the AM, or are you good with that? Can you tell by nighttime, which one it is?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's PM.
Yeah, you're correct. Well, I feel like we've really bonded over this. Like, I feel like you and I are we're very similar in a lot of ways.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we're similar at all.
Fine, I guess we're different.
Yeah, we're very different.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we sound different, for sure. There's no reason anyone would suspect that we're the same person. Alright, well, good luck. Good luck to you on your journey. I'm gonna hang up, and I just hung up. And now I'm free of that man. All of this immortality, it does come with some downsides. There's also the off chance that I just end up in a very unusual physical position. You know, if I fall deep into a crevasse and I'm just stuck there for hundreds of years. So I have thought about that. This is why I give the government my location all the time. Any app that comes up that asks for location tracking, I'm like, absolutely, please. Because if I'm playing Candy Crush when I fall into that crevasse, I want Candy Crush to tell the government, like, hey, some guy fell into a big hole. Like, oh, this guy has been booting up Angry Birds Lord of the Rings edition from the bottom of the Marianas Trench for 3 years. Do you think he's okay? No, maybe he's an immortal guy who's stuck there. He has nothing better to do than play Angry Birds. I've been Slurp Von Lipstick. You've been John Q. Public. See you another time. Get it? Come on. Give it up for somebody who absolutely should not be here. Definitely shouldn't. If I'm doing reverse psychology correctly, I just realized it's actually just saying the truth. What an interesting idea. So yeah, he shouldn't have done that. And I think it added nothing to the value of anyone's lives. It was completely pointless. Everybody realizes it's pointless except him, but he gets to keep doing it because he has access to my iCloud. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate the future. This isn't good. This isn't the kind of life anybody should be living. And that goes for everybody. That goes to you, John Q. Public. You should change your name. What kind of name? Who are you? What are you? You're an amalgamation of the most average people who exist. So I'll just set aside a segment for them. I'll just do that right now. If you're an interesting person, at this point you can just stop listening to the pod. And I don't even care if you start listening again after. I don't care. But if you're just a normal guy, then I got something for you. Here you go. Chew on this. Ready? this weekend I actually ordered a pizza for delivery. It's 7 p.m. I receive an email. The email says, you'll have your goddamn pizza by 7:30 p.m. So I thought that's excellent. Even if it's later than that, I don't care. I just want a pizza at any time of the night. So 7:30 rolls around, and I'm like, oh, it's not, I didn't get any notification or anything. So I check the email, I go to the pizza tracker, and it says, your pizza was delivered at 7:27. And it wasn't. It was not there. So I called them and I said, hey, is this pizza okay? Is it gonna make it here? And they said, oh, it's actually, oh shit, we just realized it's sitting here, but we're gonna send it through DoorDash. And that'll take like 5 or 10 minutes. So I waited like 45 minutes because I'm just really patient. But after 45 minutes, I was like, I guess I have to call now. So I said, hey, what's, okay, I don't know if you remember, if you can really dig through the recesses of your memory, but I ordered a pizza at one point in time. And they said, yes, the DoorDash guy, he just came like 5 or 6 minutes ago, and he just left and he has the pizza. And I think that's great, but somehow it hasn't occurred to me to ask, hey, why did this say it was delivered at a specific time when according to you it hadn't even left the restaurant yet? And it's a mystery that's still unsolved to this day. So then I waited an entire hour, an entire 60 minutes before I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to give my old friends a ring over at the old pizza joint. It's like almost 10 o'clock at night at this point. And so I just hear it ring for, I don't know, like 10 seconds. And then I hear somebody pick up and they hang up. They hang up on the guy who never got his pizza. I never got the pizza. After that, I was like, I'm not gonna call them again. I mean, obviously they don't want me to have their fucking pizza. They don't like me. And here's something that's gonna make the story even more incredible. This is exactly what happened to me 2 weeks ago, the last time I tried to order a pizza from this place. So it's been almost a month, I have yet to successfully receive a pizza. The same gift card has been refunded 2 times. It really degrades your outlook on life. It's like, even the people who I give money to, they're like, we don't know where your pizza is. Like, I really did, at one point I felt like I was like being gaslit or like pranked. I thought they were going to be like, you never actually ordered a pizza, this is a dream. None of this is real. And I would be like, I'm pretty sure it's real. I don't usually have dreams this boring. The second time it happened, I was like, hey, I'm just curious, where are all these pizzas going that I'm supposed to get? Do they just see my name come up and they're like, throw this guy's pizzas in a river, make them, and then throw them in the river, and they go out to the ocean where they belong. And that wouldn't be the first time the ocean took a meal of mine. I went to a restaurant with my mom and dad a few years ago, and it was really nice out, so we sat outside by the water. And if you're by the water, it's pretty windy. And so I ordered a salad, just like a naive person, like not knowing this. It should be something they tell you in school, like if it's windy, salads are off the menu. But I ordered one anyway. And guess what happened? I didn't get to eat it. It blew away. The salad just returned to nature. And like half of it went in the water in the ocean. I don't know. You shouldn't eat out. You should eat in. But I do understand, I mean, I understand the feeling of wanting to like have an experience when you go somewhere and like, oh, it's a different room than from what I normally eat in. Usually I just sit at home and eat from a can of beans, and there's just one light bulb hanging in my kitchen, and there's a rat on the table, and it's waiting for me to finish the beans so it can have the rest. The rat is my roommate. But, you know, I like to occasionally go out there and support a local economy that thrives on people who went to art school and, you know, gotta make coffee for us. Look, I don't think it's good. I think it's fucked up that it works that way. The arts are totally undervalued. But the more I guess the more that, like, I hear people talk about it, the more I think I don't know if people understand the function of art at all. But as someone who does engage in a type of art, to me it seems very strange for someone to say, hey, what did that mean? And like, obviously it makes sense to ask the question, but if you're like making a piece of music and someone's like, what did that mean? You're asking me to translate something that's already a translation of something that has no words that you can attach to it. It just comes out of nothingness. So what you're asking for is to translate that into a medium with even less fidelity, which would be just the words I come up with on the spot to explain it, which would probably sound like just garbage. It would be like if I made a movie and someone's like, I don't understand that. Can you express the same idea in the form of a quilt? But it seems like the opinion that like an asshole would have. So I'm choosing to pretend that I don't have it. Even though I do feel that way. Why would I go against how I feel? This has really defined an alarmingly huge portion of my life. And the thing is, it's been a lot of years of like just adding these things on, like things I feel like I'm supposed to do because like I said earlier, nobody knows what the hell is going on. So everyone is just looking at each other like, what are you doing? And that'll work for a while. Like as a child, you do have to look to other. I mean, you have to look at the examples. Could get unlucky. You might have a lot of bad examples around. But at a certain point, you have to accumulate enough understanding, enough wisdom to look back and say how much of me is just tied into all of that. It just means you discard what isn't useful anymore. And you like have all of these layers of rationalizing over something that actually at its core doesn't make any sense. Something you're holding onto that makes no sense to hold onto. But this is why like rationality is also kind of a weapon that you can use against yourself. So yeah, if you want to find out more about me, keep up to date with what the goings on, it's very easy to find out. Slurp Von Lipstick has leaked all of my emails. You can actually hear the phone calls I had with the pizza place trying to figure out what was going on with my pizza. Those are now leaked. Look, not that, I mean, I present myself very pleasantly, even in the worst of circumstances. I can't possibly imagine, like, actually yelling at somebody over the phone because I didn't get my pizza. But it's really hard for me to, like, be mad at anybody involved. Because basically the conspiracy that's going on, it's probably just a bunch of people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they're doing. There's no one who's like, I'm a PhD in delivering pizza. I've studied this for years. Anywhere anyone's posted up, they're just like, did the previous generation leave clear enough instructions? There aren't like Sumerian tablets that have like instructions that were handed down for how to run a pizza place. Everyone's just winging it. This should inspire people. Honestly, when things like this happen, I just think, well, any idiot can do anything. The world is just not as airtight as I used to think. I used to think you call the pizza place, you know, you place an order, you picture it like a firehouse, like a guy comes down on a pole. He's like, where's this pizza going? Quickly, say it quickly. And they tell him, and he gets in a helicopter and they airdrop it. This is what I picture in my ideal reality. But my ideal reality is not reality. Reality is much more, it's broken. It's totally fucking fucked. Nietzsche said that. But you have to take that as an opportunity. You have to take it as a challenge to try to be an example to show people that it doesn't matter how fucked it is. That you do have within you the ability to unfuck it. You do it just by existing. Like you impact other people, you influence other people with even if you don't know it, and you may never know it. So we all just have to exist the right way. It seems easy. I'll have a think about it and I'll let you know. Well, thanks for tuning in. You've been here, I've been here, and I'm ready for you to leave now. And I'll save up all that tip money, and I'll try to give it to Slurp on Lipstick so that he agrees to destroy all the blackmail he has on me. But he's asking for honestly a pretty high number, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it. So to anybody who wants to give a tip, like I'm just telling you up front, I'm probably not going to make enough money, so it's probably going to be a total waste. I'm sorry I can't make a stronger case, but I just have to be honest. It's a curse. It really is a curse. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, thanks for watching.